All right, it's Sunday, April 28th. Wasn't planning to vlog today, but currently playing the $630 tournament here at Lucky Chances. Today's day 1C. First place is going to be 50K. Day 2 is on Monday if I make it through. And yeah, as mentioned, I wasn't planning to vlog today, but there's some interesting spots that have come up so far. All right, first hand of note comes at the 200, 300, 300 level. I'm middle position with pocket eights, and I raise it to 1100. The big blind makes the call, and an early position limper makes the call. Effective stack in this hand is around 20K or so. We all have about the even amount of chips here. Go through ace to a flop of 977, 2 diamonds. Checks to me, pretty good flop for me here, and so I put out a continuation bet of 1500. Only the big blind makes the call. The turn is a 10 of spades. I pick up some additional equity here, but after it checks to me, I decide to check back here. I think if I decide to bet and get check raise, I'm not going to love this spot because she could be putting a lot of pressure on me with a lot of hands that I'm ahead of that have a lot of equity, hands like flush draws, straight draws, combo draws. So I check back. The river brings a jack of diamonds. It completes the front door flush, and I make the straight here, of course, and she thinks it through for a little bit, and she makes a bet of 2500. No other option here, I don't think, other than call, so that's what I do, and she turns over pocket sixes, so take this one down. All right, this next hand, the under the gun, bit of a tighter player, raises it to 800. I'm in under the gun +1 with ace jack of clubs, and I try to isolate here. I put in a 3-bet to 2100, folds back to this player, and he makes the call. He started this hand with about 11K. The flop is a very good one. It comes ace jack 8 rainbow. He checks it to me, and feeling like I got this hand relatively locked up, so I decided to check back for some deception here. The turn brings a 6 of clubs. He checks it. I think it's time to go for some value here, so I put out a bet of 1500. He doesn't think too long, and he makes the call. The river is another good one. It's a jack, so I fill up here. He checks it to me. I put out a rather polarizing bet of 5K. He doesn't think too long, and he makes the call. He turns over pocket kings, 2 black kings, so nice to take this one down. All right, next hand, there's an early position limp. I'm in the cutoff with 4-6 of spades, and I raise it to 1100. The button and early position players make the call. Stacks are around 20K effective here. Flop comes 10-9 deuce, rainbow, no spades on this board, so after it checks to me, I decide to check back given that I don't have too much equity here. The turn brings a deuce of hearts, and it checks to me again, and despite having no equity, no showdown value, no draws, given that they've shown some weakness here, I decide to put out a bet of 1500, and only the early position player makes the call. The river comes a 5 of diamonds, bricks all of the draws here, which is a good card to continue on, I think, and when he checks it, I take a similar line as I did with the ace jack hand. Obviously different board textures here, but I put out a bet of 5K, and he makes the quick fold. All right, a couple more hands get through. There's an under the gun raise to 1300. I'm under the gun +2 with pocket kings, and I put in a 3-bet to 3K. And it falls back to the under the gun, and he makes the call. Flop comes queen 7 deuce, 2 hearts. He checks it to me. I bet 2K. He puts out a raise to 5K, so some alarm bells ringing off. Feels like a hand like ace queen or pocket queens perhaps, and I decide to just call. The turn is an ace of diamonds, so it's either a really good card for him if he has ace queen, or a really bad card for him if he has pocket queens, because I'm not feeling good about my kings, obviously. So he checks it, and I check it as well. The river brings a 6 of clubs. He quickly bets out 7K, and I just make the quick fold. Our last interesting hand of note here, it's the 244 level now. There's 2 limps, and I'm under the gun +2 with pocket kings, and I raise it to 1600. Folds over to under the gun +1. He's the same player that had the pocket kings from earlier, and he makes the call. He's only got about 5K left. Flop comes queen 8-4, 2 spades. He checks it. I put out a continuation bet of 2K. He quickly goes all in. I make the call. He turns over queen 10 of clubs, and the board runs out clean. It's a 9 of clubs and an 8 of clubs, so get the knockout here to chip up a little bit. So yeah, gonna head back in there now, a little bit above starting stack. I think we start with 25K, so I have about maybe over 30 or so, and we'll see if we can run it up from this point.
You know I hate you since you left me alone. While I can't hide you.
All right, just got to the second break here. All right, first hand of note, we're playing 3-6-6. There's an under the gun. He just goes all in for 12K. I'm in middle position with pocket kings. Pretty easy call here. I've got about 30K or so. I make the call. Everyone else folds, and the board runs out 10-10-4, 8, ace, so get the clean run out to knock this player out. All right, so not sure if you guys signed up for bad poker, but you're gonna get some of that in these next couple of hands. So there's an early position raised to 2,700. I'm in middle position with ace deuce of diamonds. I decide to make the call, and I start this hand with about 45k, and this player covers me. We go heads up to a flop of 10-4 deuce, 2 hearts, so I flop bottom pair on this board. He decides to bet 5k, and I make the call. The turn brings a 6 of clubs, and he doesn't stop betting. He bets out 6k, and I pick up a little bit of a live read, or what I think is a live read. I'm putting him on a hand like ace queen of hearts or ace king of hearts. Pretty exact here, but with that information, I decide to make the call. The river brings the queen of clubs. Not a good card if he does have ace queen of hearts, so now I'm only beating ace king of hearts, which is just one combo. He bets out pretty small though. He bets out 3k, gets stubborn. I make the call, and he turns over pocket king. So get really stubborn, play this hand pretty bad, but yeah, lose this one. All right, this next hand we're playing 4-8-8, folds to me in the hijack, and I've got 4-6 of diamonds, and I raise it to 2k. The cutoff, small blind and big blind make the call. We go 4 ways to a flop of king, jack 5, 2 diamonds. Pretty good flop for my hand. I make a flush draw. When it checks to me, I actually decide to check as well, hoping to get a free card. That's not to be the case though, because cutoff jams all in for 17k. Folds back to me, and I've got about 30 some odd k, so I cover him. And the pot odds are laying me about 40%, and assuming all 9 flush outs are live, that with using quick math, it gives me about 36% equity. Also, I got a little bit of backdoor equity here, so I decide to gamble. I put it in there, and he turns over king 10 of hearts for top pair. The turn brings a 10 of diamonds, so make the flush here, but he makes 2 pair. Need to fade the river at this point, which comes a 9 of diamonds. So get a little bit lucky in this hand, gamble it up a little bit. 2 bad hands of poker, I guess, in a row, but get rewarded on this one. This next hand, we're still playing 4-8-8. There's a low jack limp, and there's a button limp, and I'm in the small blind with jack 10 of diamonds. Usually a decent hand to either complete and see a flop or put in a raise here. In this case, given the passive play by low jack and button, I decide to put out a raise, a rather large one here, to 4,500. The plan here is to essentially continue betting on the flop, probably a down bet just to maintain my range advantage, but luckily, everyone folds, and I take this hand down. Not too much going on in this hand, but I just bring it up to highlight that there's going to be some spots throughout tournaments that you're just going to want to pay attention to different situations when you see some passive play. All right, this next hand's pretty interesting. We're playing 4-8-8. There's an undergun player. She raises it to 2k. Middle position calls, and I'm in the cutoff with king queen of clubs. I've got about 50k to start this hand, and undergun has about the same stack size, and middle position has about 20k or so. So I decide to 3-bet it to 6,500. Under the gun tanks for a while, and she makes the call, and middle position goes all in for 22k. So at this point, I'm putting under the gun pretty much on exactly 10-10 or jack-jack here, and I'm not really sure what middle position has, but I was ranging him on a middle-sized pocket pair that was just willing to get it in, given that he might be recognizing the situation and the fact that I might be 3-betting light here to squeeze. And so with all that said, I jam over the top, and under the gun begrudgingly folds. It turns out that we're up against a less than ideal spot here, as middle position turns over ace king offsuit. The board runs out jack 6-3, so nothing really on the flop here. Turns a decent one, it's a 10, so I've got the open-ended straight draw. Got some good equity, pick up some outs here, and the river comes a 7. So don't get there on the river and double this player up. All right, this last interesting hand, we're playing 6-12-12. I start this hand with about 20k, so I've got 17 big blinds. I raise it to 2,500 from the hijack when it folds to me. I've got queen 8 of clubs, and the cutoff calls and the big blind calls. 3 ways to a flop of queen 3 deuce, 2 spades. Checks to me, I put out a small bet of 2k. The cutoff, who covers me, goes all in for about 35k. Big blind folds, and I decide to stack off here for about 18k total. We're up against cutoffs 7-8 of spades here for a flush draw, and the turn comes a 4 of diamonds, which is safe. Need to fade the river, and the river is a 9 of diamonds. So we do fade it, get the nice double up to stay in the tournament. So we're gonna head back in there now. Got about 30 or so big blinds, and we'll see if we can run it up from this point.
While I can't hide you, I want to come back home. You gave up on me, you kept my freedom. Oh, let me be your nightmare syndrome. Say that love is a feeling to hate.
We're playing the 1k, 1500, 1500 level, and I start the hand with about 43k. I'm in the low jack with king 7 of diamonds, and I raise it to 3k. Both of the blinds defend. Go 3 ways to a flop of ace king 6, 2 spades. Checks through. Turn is an 8 of hearts. It also checks through. And the river is an ace of diamonds. So good card here because it's less likely to have an ace here. The small blind leads for 3,500. Big blind folds. I make the quick call. She turns over queen 10 of spades. So take this one down. All right, this next hand is a pretty sick one. Under the gun limps. Small blind completes. I'm in the big blind with queen 9 offsuit. I check it. We go 3 ways to a flop of king 9-9, so I make trips here. Check it over to under the gun. He puts out a bet of 7,500. The small blind has about 50K or so, and he raises it to 18K. And I cover this player just by a little bit. And I decided to just jam all in here. It's a pretty obvious spot of what I have, but happy to try to just take it down. And it folds back to small blind, and he makes the call. He turns over 7-9 of spades. Turn is an 8 of spades, so he turns a flush draw to go with his trips. And the river is a 7 of clubs, so he fills up, gets the full double up, and I'm crippled to about 2,500 left. I get it all in on the next hand in the small blind. I've got 6 deuce of diamonds. There were a few limps before cutoff, jams all in. Everyone else folds, so I have a chance to quadruple up here. He has pocket queens. The board runs out ace 7 deuce 1 diamond. The turn is a queen of diamonds, so pick up the flush draw here. And the river is an 8 of diamonds, so get the nice quadruple up here. Next hand we're playing 1-2-2. Under the gun goes all in for 25K. Folds to me in the big blind. I've got ace 6 of spades. I've only got about 10K left for 5 big blinds. I just stack off here, and she turns over ace queen offsuit. The board runs out 10-6-5, 10 king. So get the nice suck out here to double up and stay in the tournament. So yeah, I was feeling pretty good weathering the storm, and I was at 2,500 at the lowest point after that cooler hand with the 9s, and I ended up getting it all in pre-flop from early position with ace king offsuit. The small blind called pocket 6s, hit a little bit less than me, and it held. And so I was just down to a few big blinds, and I got it all in with 10-5 of clubs against king queen of diamonds, and couldn't outdraw that hand. So ultimately get knocked out. So yeah, that wraps things up for this vlog. Apologies, it was kind of anticlimactic here at the end, but I might vlog another time or two before heading to Hong Kong, but if I don't, I will see you all next time from Hong Kong.
You gave up on me. You kept my freedom. Oh.